The movie that proves that anyone can be a winner. It just takes sacrifice. Like your buddy losing his life, you losing your business, your friends losing their jobs and their freedom, your girlfriend losing her ability to use her legs, and you also losing your freedom by going to jail forever. Also, you can lose any chance at any prizes. This is Need for Speed on Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. Stinker Madness. We got the Stinker Madness. Yes. Winning takes loss. That is what we are proved of everything. Like,
that's right. Blaze of glory, people.
I guess you gain redemption?
Mm-hmm.
I guess?
Finally, justice was served because you broke so many goddamn laws they couldn't turn the other cheek.
But you all... Here's my problem with the redemption side of things. Like, he gets redeemed, but he has to do the same time previously in jail that the bad guy in the movie has to do, because he goes to jail in the start of the movie for the crime of illegal street racing, reckless endangerment.
You got manslaughter,
all of those things stacked up on top of each other that the bad guy is also just going to get. He doesn't get any more jail time. He just goes to jail.
Well, I think that the bad guy will get a murder charge.
Yeah, because he tried to cover it up. But, either way, he only had to serve 2 years for all that shit in the first part of the movie. And then 178 days for breaking the rules after that.
Which goes to show if you have to play the system, otherwise it just doesn't work. He would have needed to properly gain redemption. He would have had to do detective work rather than straight racing. And he wouldn't have had to done that second 6 months.
Yeah, the rules get broken very much in this movie. But the action was great. Action was...
Oh, I was thoroughly entertained. I loved it.
Action-packed.
Yeah, it was action-packed. It started out a little slow. A lot of character development that I thought was completely unnecessary, because the character development in my mind that it took place to grow your emotional attachment to these characters, or in theory you're supposed to, just continued throughout the movie. It was just them talking bullshit throughout the first 20 minutes of the movie to each other, and then they just talk bullshit to each other throughout the rest of the movie. Like, you could have done that en route to the end of the movie.
So speaking of the opening of this movie, the Mount Kisco Drive-In, better known as the world of Dukes of Hazzard sluts.
Yeah.
And everybody there had a Dukes of Hazzard slut look.
I kind of think everybody in this movie was kind of like... Is that just like what people are in their mid-20s? Just slutty? Like, that's the thing now? Everybody's just kind of that way?
No, well, the English lady wasn't.
Until halfway through the movie.
I don't know about that. She wasn't Dukes of Hazzard it up
She's
or anything.
got Gucci boots.
She had to take those off. And then she was wearing flats and skinny jeans and some t-shirt that said, like...
That's not
truck
slutty.
hauling.
Side order. I thought it said side order.
It said something weird.
Killing something.
Yeah, maybe.
And at the end of the movie, she's just got the sleeves ripped off of a white t-shirt that's got holes in it. And she's totally whored out.
Yeah.
Well, she's had, 6 months of celibacy, Sam. She's ready.
Whoring is just not cool to me. I do want to, before we get into this, I just want to make a fun fact. This, believe it or not, is the first video game movie we have done. I kind of find that to be a little surprising.
And what's even more surprising is that it wasn't directed by Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
Who's usually the director of all these video game movies.
So I've never
the championship levels.
I've never seen the video game, so let me ask you guys a few questions so that I can get caught up to speed. Maybe there's a listener out there who hasn't played.
You got a need for getting caught up to speed?
Yes, a need to get caught up.
Catching up to a need for speed.
So, first, is the tunnel vision in the video game?
Yes, it was when you hit the NOS. You would get the you go fast, which makes it doesn't make any sense, but there was no NOS in this movie. There was no mention of NOS or him hitting the juice or anything like that, which for listeners that aren't into cars at all, but NOS is nitrous oxide. It is like a special breed of fuel that makes your engine go faster, basically.
Okay, question number 2.
Yes.
were there actual cops in this?
Yes.
In the video game?
That's part of the fun of the video game is the crazy business that happens because of the cops. You're always trying to get away from the cops. So you're taking shortcuts and jumping over shit, and you get bonus points for jumping over shit and eluding the police. It's kind of like not shitty Grand Theft Auto. Like,
okay.
It's this movie.
Question number 3.
Basically.
Can you refuel on the highway in this game?
No, you have unlimited gas.
Okay. Question number 4. Do you have a helicopter and or plane in this game?
No, but I thought that was interesting, an interesting homage. And feel free to interject, but I know I've played a shitload of Need for Speed more than you have.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that game.
No, I love them. It's crappy because, like, in the game, I kind of really like this about the movie but in the game you have like a computer screen and inside your cockpit, you know, whatever car you're driving, and some guy will come up and be like talking to you like, oh, you got to race it on Tuesday at this location and it's going to be heavy traffic, and there's tons of dude talk during it.
Okay.
And so I thought and sometimes like, oh, you got heavy traffic coming up. I thought that was a nice way of doing that, of keeping that piece of the video game in it. But there is also, like, police copters. There's helicopters all over the place, flying all over, you know, for cool effect.
Okay. And my last question, do you have a right-hand man, a passenger in your vehicle in the game?
There's no navvy.
Okay.
You have the computer guy. That's what you get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those were all my questions, and I wasn't sure if those were video game related, but I was like, well, I better ask.
No, that's a good way to start.
I thought they were all pretty neat little effects, but I wasn't sure if they just ripped them off of the video game or if they just put them in there.
Yeah, there was a couple homages here and there that I noticed. There lots of point of view camera work with inside the car. There was the if you've ever driven a racing game, modern day racing game, you do the head swivel thing where you can look around the car, and usually when you do that, your head doesn't pan the same speed as your normal head does. It kind of does a slow tilt, and there was a couple shots where it does that. Like, he looks at something outside of the front of the car, and it does a slow tilt towards that direction. And it just subtle things that I think that it was actually probably maybe arguably the best video game movie that has ever been made. Because they didn't piss on it.
I thought it was way better than Speed Racer.
That was a cartoon.
Cartoon, yeah.
Yeah. No, video game movies are Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Brothers, the movie. Oh, boy.
Double Dragon.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's a comic book first.
I think it was a cartoon first.
I'm pretty sure it's a comic book.
We already had this argument.
Yeah. There you go, listeners. Hashtag comic, TMNT comic, or hashtag TMNT video game. Or no, cartoon.
Cartoon.
Whatever. Or just go online. Tell us that we're idiots. What else you got? You got...
In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale.
That's right. Resident Evils.
Silent Hill.
What's the other UE bowl? Blood Rain.
So far, this movie is surpassing all of those.
Yeah, I like the Resident Evils, though. But they are terrible.
They're terrible.
They are awful movies.
I was actually really entertained for this entire movie. I really liked it. I thought, I'm just going to throw this out here. You guys can be buttholes if you want. Mm-hmm. I thought Aaron Paul did a pretty good job.
I thought he was atrociously bad.
And I thought Michael
Keaton... bad, just bad.
Like, Michael Keaton really got in there and played the crazy racer guy.
His character sucked.
His character sucked, but I thought he did a really good job of portraying weirdo guy. Right. And I really liked Aaron Paul in this movie. I don't care. I thought he did a really good job. And I have this one thing that I wrote when I was watching this movie, and I'd like to share this, just in case Aaron Paul is out there thinking about this as well.
Please do.
Let's see, where is that comment?
That's exactly what he's thinking.
I wrote down in one of the scenes, it was like a close-up of his face, right? And he was all tough guying it out.
Which is 3/4 of the movie.
Yeah, so I go, I wonder if Aaron Paul's high school drama teacher rubs one out to this movie. Like, I trained that kid. Oh, he was so handsome back then, too. She's having Aaron Paul sexual fantasies, high school drama teacher. Or maybe it's a he. Who cares? Either way, that was my thought during this movie.
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So the movie starts out. Let's just get into this action machine.
Oh, right, fine.
With the emotional backdrop of the character.
As
that is
narrated by
Toby.
Michael Keaton.
By Michael Keaton. And you're going through his history, and there's kind of like I don't know what that's called in filmography, or not filmography, but, I don't know.
Yeah, where they're telling you
cinema,
the dad and...
It was a kind of a montage compilation mix, because there's live things that are happening, but you're still, like, taking a tour through old pictures, and there's a voiceover, and none of the events that are happening appear to be interconnected in any way. It's just a bunch of people talking about separate things over a period of, like, 10 minutes or whatever, but I thought that was weird, but, there's also some really bad photoshopping that I noticed.
That was awful.
When they put the modern day character or actor into pictures of old people, and they have to cut his head off and put it onto an old picture of like, hey, we're fishing. Oh boy!
The one that was the worst was when it got to the last picture of him in an actual race car that was like a super stock county race car. And it was like him not quite standing there, a guy that's supposed to be his dad tilted the wrong way. The car wasn't really put in the picture right, and then there was like a banner that looked like it was hand-drawn on a napkin stuck like...
And it says the 1964 Macon, Georgia race. Yeah, no, the Photoshop, whoever did the Photoshopping, which is amazing because the actual... they didn't use a whole lot of CGI in this film, but when they did, I thought it looked great. The car, usually cars look like shit to me in CGI. I thought that they looked spot on.
Even though almost every car commercial that you see now is fake.
Yeah, but I can spot that every time. Huh. It looks like shit. The color matting is just always awful, and they're too flat, or they're too shiny and weird spots.
Didn't you say that Aaron Paul did a lot of his own driving?
Most everybody did everybody did a lot of driving, but I'm sure there was, considering how many stunt drivers they had in the cast, they got on screen time, that most of the heavy lifting was done by stunt drivers.
Yeah, okay. Good stunt drivers, very good stunt drivers. But then we learned that Aaron Paul Toby, let's just call him Toby from now on,
he's a dickhead.
Yeah, he's kind of a dickhead.
And so is everybody else.
So am I, and so are you.
Macho guy.
They're all macho guys, which like I say, is kind of just a reoccurring theme in these types of movies where you have to be super, like, charming and, like, give the girl the slow look, you know, like while you're talking to her. You
silent type.
Do, like, move your eyebrows up and down a little bit while you're talking to her, and, like, you kind of, I guess everybody wants to be young Jack Nicholson when it comes to these. Like, you just do weird things that nobody does actually in real life when talking to another human. But, they're in a town called Mount Kisco, and he owns a
motor repair
chop shop.
It's a
performance shop. And his, does he own it, or does he and his bros own it? Are they partners, or are they his employees?
He owns it.
They're his employees.
They're his employees and his race team.
For illegal underground racing.
Right. But he's a broke-ass motherfucker who can't afford to pay his loan.
It was a pretty nice shop.
Yeah, it was a very nice shop. But they didn't look like they were very busy.
No.
Busy working on their own cars.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what you do. And they were also playing video games. They probably Need for Speed. But they go to the Mount Kisco Drive-In, and...
which we've already mentioned is the world of Dukes of Hazzard sluts.
And they're showing Bullet on screen, which makes me think that that's probably the only movie that shows at that drive-in. You know, just over and over. Oh,
great. They could show Gone in 60 Seconds. Too.
Yeah, with Nick Cage.
No, the first one with Stephen Queen.
I think they should do it with Nick Cage.
To do them both, back to back.
Back to back. Double feature.
Yeah, and then the Italian Job with Michael Keaton, and then the one with Mark Wahlberg. Not Michael Keaton, Michael Caine.
Yeah. I don't know if these don't seem like people that would be excited about Mini Coopers jumping downstairs. I think they just want to see Bullet over and over and over and over and over again. Because the Mustang thing is a very reoccurring thing in this movie. But we'll get to that. So that apparently the drive-in is where you meet to, like, prepare for the illegal underground racing thing.
I think that's where it starts. Yeah. Outside the drive-in.
That is it like midnight, 2 in the morning? I don't know, but there's nobody out in this town. And they've got planes navigating and checking for cops and traffic and then
a supercomputer outside of a truck.
Supercomputer and epic gadgets and all sorts of nonsense.
They've got $10 million of equipment for a race that is going to net 5,000 to the winner.
5,000?
Yeah.
That's what it was on the line.
Oh, they said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
It was 5, yeah.
Because
so there was...
They say it again after he wins when he's like, that was actually the bank manager and we're going tits up. And they're like, well, $5,000 ought to pay for it.
Yeah.
Which leads you to assume that there was 5 cars, so everybody was just in for 1,000, and whoever won got all of the money.
So your profit is 4,000. You basically need to do that every night. Mm-hmm. Because you got guys, you got the shop, you got the car.
I would guess that your goal for a shop like that would be 40,000 a month in gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
and then your net would be very small.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, illegal underground racing does not pay.
It sure doesn't.
That is a top tip. Don't do it. Not for your safety, but because it's fucking stupid. But it's not just any race. It's also a death race. Because you gotta flirt with the train. The first thing you have to do is
it starts
obviously
in Congress
time
with the train.
With the train, so you gotta have you flirting with disaster on the train, and then you gotta go through town, and there's cars and like downtown. Now you're in downtown. First you were kind of out in the boonies. Now you're in downtown. Anywhere USA.
For homeless guys with
homeless
cars.
guys.
I thought that was hilarious. I laughed really hard.
Like anytime that there's cars driving fast, somebody's got to hit the homeless guy's shopping cart. I don't know why that is. Have you guys ever seen a homeless guy pushing around a shopping cart?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see homeless guys sitting on curbs playing guitars with very nice shoes.
Those guys aren't homeless.
Yeah, dude, those are phobos.
Okay. Well, I never see the shopping cart guys.
We don't allow a lot of homeless people in this town.
There seems to be quite a few.
You go to Portland, and you'll
Bingo.
see somebody pushing a shopping cart in Portland within the first hour of being there.
You'll also see illegal street racing.
In Portland?
That's where Paul Walker died.
Really?
I think so.
Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine, Portland, New York? Which Portland?
Portland, Maine. There's so much Paul Walker business in Portland.
You don't know?
No,
You don't know anything about Portland, Maine. Shit's hot up there.
Well, I know Paul Walker didn't die in Portland, Maine. I'm pretty sure it was Portland, Oregon, doing a benefit thing, and then, hey, let's go have some illegal street racing right afterwards, so. And then explode. Yeah, this movie's timing is really weird, because that happened, like, right after this movie was released, wasn't it? Or was that before?
I thought it was before.
Huh. Still. Don't illegal street race.
But before we move on, I want to say
go
that
ahead.
we get introduced to his ex-girlfriend who is now with the bad guy of this film, Anita. And my first thought was a gap-toothed, horse-faced woman. Like, why are you sad to lose that one? And then it occurred to me, that's the same one that they just cast for 50 Shades of Grey.
No, the blonde is the 50 Shades of Grey girl.
No,
the other one is?
It's the horse face.
See, I'm telling you, she is not attractive.
No.
Yeesh.
She's got a big old gap in her teeth, and it's really distracting. It's like, don't smile, horse face.
Was her last name
Putin.
Look into another career?
No.
Anita, look into another career.
Oh, boy. Like, she needs to do anything. Her parents are rich. I don't know. Don Johnson could have put...
right.
Who knows how that guy's doing?
Nepotism.
Yeah, nepotism definitely for her, because she's not a pretty lady.
It's the biggest problem in the universe, apparently.
So I can see why, he was really ready to move on when he met the next one. Like, he was like, oh my god, you're not a horse face. And no gaps in your teeth.
You're British and you have better teeth than this American horse face.
My opinion of Imogen Poots was that she looks too much like Jude Law, but then she sort of grew on me.
She did start to actually kind of grow on me,
and then, by the end of it,
I think she was thinking of Imogen Poots. That's not Imogen Poots, is it?
No, he is thinking of Imogen Poots. The blonde.
The blonde gal.
Blonde is Imogen Poots? Okay.
Yes. The other one is not Imogen Poots. So, long story short, he gets tunnel vision, and that gives him an extra 20 horsepower, and he's able to win, because he was behind till he got tunnel vision, doesn't hit any buttons, but he flies into first place and wins.
And I'd like to say, they are not wearing their seatbelts.
They are not. Nobody
dangerous.
does. Nobody does throughout this whole movie. They're flipping cars, and there's slow motion inside of the cars, and none of them are wearing seatbelts. All of them are dead.
The only time they were wearing seatbelts is when they get hit by the semi-truck in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. But were they while they were flying through the air upside down? We'll have to double check that.
Okay.
Because they are when they
It
have
seemed
to
like
pop
when they were
them out.
driving across America, they were using their seatbelts.
But anytime that they
Because I noticed
were
I was
illegal
keeping
street
track,
racing, they weren't.
they were sort of undoing and doing their seatbelts a lot when they were cross-countrying it.
Interesting.
Safety first. After
Well, you
their
don't want to
friend
get
got killed,
pulled over for...
yeah,
not
after
wearing
their
a
friend got
seatbelt.
killed, they were like, maybe we should wear seatbelts.
Yeah.
Like they were going to stop anyway.
When you get pulled over for
Yeah,
not
when
wearing a seatbelt.
the cops show up, you just drive faster.
Yeah. So, Doofus, Dominic Cooper, whose name is, Dino shows up and comes and offers them a job to finish
Carol Shelby's
construction
last
on
Mustang.
the Carol Shelby / Ford Mustang project that they just kept beating into the hammer that, oh, Carol Shelby died while making this. Well, here's the problem with that. Yes, Carol Shelby did work until he died. Like, he did not retire. But if there was such a Mustang, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't take it to Toby.
Like
To the Mount Kisco.
Mount Kisco Auto Repair or Auto Performance. I'm pretty sure that Ford would just go ahead and take that over.
Guys, Shelby Automotive Company still exists.
It's got like 2,000 employees.
Yeah, they probably would have finished that car there.
Yeah, I don't think that was really. I think that was pretty stupid, but still, I guess it pays off later because then it just gives Ford more on-screen time to show off their Ford GT500 with a body kit on it. That car doesn't exist, just so you know. This special Ford
No, there
Mustang,
isn't.
there's no
One
such
of the
thing.
fun facts in the movie is that they haven't been able to get the Mustang over 645 horse. That's the cap there, not 900.
However, the GT50 is the highest horse rate or outputted horsepower V8 vehicle that has ever been manufactured, mass produced. But the employees are like, nah, we can't do that. Nah, that guy's a real bad guy because he was from here and now he's not from here and he like totally moved away.
And he stole your girlfriend.
Yeah, he stole your horse-based girlfriend. We're not taking that $500,000 a piece job. Fuck you guys. What?
That was $500,000 altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was $2 million.
That was the guess.
And it
Was that
split 4 ways.
No, it was that the car was expected to go for $2 million, and they were going to get to keep 25% of that.
Oh, still, whatever, man.
They were going to make enough money for the year.
Yeah, there's not a shop that's going to turn down that job, even if the guy moved away.
What would have really happened?
Dude, I mean, I know that's low
is
moving away,
that
but
instead of when they have to have the car done, because they don't even show them working on the car's just like done.
it's just done that evening.
That evening, almost. Instead of having that whole like dinner banquet thing where they show up to buy the car, what would have happened is Dino would have had to come back and there'd be parts of Mustang everywhere. And they'd be like, we're gonna get it fixed, man. We are gonna fix this car. We just gotta figure out how to do it. I don't even know why the seat is in my office. I'm sorry.
It's like when you're a little kid and you take apart your toys with a screwdriver, then all of a sudden springs just fly out everywhere. And you're like, oh god, no.
I was not expecting that to come apart so rapidly.
I don't know what to do. So anyway, some magic way they were able to put it back together by that evening. And so they have a car show for this car. And it's not like at the Detroit Auto Show. It's at, like, Jeff's studio loft.
Or it seemed like it was in, like, the conference room at the Red Lion.
Oh, no, it was definitely upstairs.
Oh, God, they get the car
Yeah,
upstairs.
2nd or 3rd level, definitely. Because it's got windows. No conference room, and it's, like, brick, and they've got turnstiles and laser show lights.
Yeah, with horses?
Horses. And can we do that? Like, I know we live in the future and all, but that seemed a little too futuresque.
Like the light show?
I think it's not exactly like that, but they do crap like that at the Detroit Auto Show.
But I know we do, like, lasers, like Laser Floyd
They
type
did,
lasers,
like, a
but-
projection onto a car thing last year, I thought.
Huh.
Either way.
I should watch more
That's
of that.
when we get to meet the English car lady.
Yeah, well, you don't know that she's an English car lady. She could be stupid.
Well, that's what we assume when we first meet her.
That's what you assume. I knew that she was Imogen Poots, so I knew she had to be somebody about this movie. So I just made the instant connection that she probably knows a thing or two about cars. But I do like the fact that the kid, Pete, was that his name?
Pete.
Pete just can't keep his mouth shut.
Dead meat. Everyone just call him Dead Meat.
Dead Meat Pete.
He just can't keep his mouth shut. And he's like, he mentions Piers Morgan.
I like Piers Morgan.
You can't tell a British person that you like Piers Morgan and be like, have them expect that they're going to be like, oh, well, he's from England. That's cool. They fucking they shipped his ass. They kicked him out of the country and sent him to America. They don't like him. You should never mention Piers Morgan to a British person. It's like mentioning Bill O'Reilly to anybody who's in the shade of sanity. In fact, I'm so pissed off about Bill O'Reilly and the Piers Morgan and that we've got both of them. I think it's only fair that England should have to take Bill O'Reilly. Like, just trade. You guys get Bill O'Reilly. Hey, if you don't like him, you can have Piers back and we'll take him. That's only fair.
Rush Limbaugh. We'll keep both of them if they take Rush Limbaugh.
Ooh.
That guy's a dick.
God. They all suck. But yeah, Piers Morgan. Do the kids like Piers Morgan?
I've never seen it. I know who he is, but I don't.
He doesn't know shit
Now we sound like we're all like 90 years old. Do the kids like Piers
We're supposed to be talking about a cocktail. Fox News isn't very good. What are we talking about
I don't
here?
know. Well, it's not very good.
It's not. Neither is CNN.
This is a show about people talking about things. So they show Imogen Poots is actually super smart about cars, apparently, because
she can see headers through the top of the car. You couldn't see anything. It was just a bunch of manifolds.
Right.
Well, I can tell what's happening here. It's all covered up in bullshit. Yep.
SVT Supercharger, that company doesn't exist anymore, just so you know.
It's my job to buy cars.
Well, yeah.
She's also got a little too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got Gucci boots. If you can afford a pair of Gucci boots, you can be a super bitch. Gucci boots are expensive, Sam, just in case you didn't know.
I am familiar with the company that makes shoes, yes.
Yeah, I thought that joke
they
was
also
also
make
dumb,
handbags.
They make men's
clothes.
shoes.
They're called high
They're
heels.
the best.
Well, yeah, everybody knows what Gucci is, whether you even know shit about fuck.
Both men and women aspire to own their shoes. It's not just women.
Oh.
Yes. If you buy an Armani suit, you better have a pair of Gucci shoes.
I do like Armani. The closest I've been able to get is Alfini.
See, I would rather talk about Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh than Gucci and Armani. Yeesh. Anyways, why... Then I kind of lost focus here a little bit. Why then is the next scene a street race between the Koenigseggs?
Okay, no, the next scene isn't. It's the next scene, they're like, the car will go 3:30.
Oh, that's right. They take it to the track. That's why I lost focus.
The car will go 2:30. And then they take it to a track to test to see how, and it's a road course. Like, that's not where you test speed. You test speed on a goddamn oval.
Yeah, you got about a quarter mile at most to max out the speed, and I believe
he gets
that
it up to 2:34.
The fastest car in the world, like something like 4 miles to get up to top speed. Like, it's not, no, you can't do 2:30 in a quarter mile. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But he does, 2:34, and then he slams on the brakes.
Because Dino
shows
gets
up.
there.
Hey, you're not supposed to be driving this car. You don't own it. Neither do you, Dino. Technically, Shelby does. And Ford. Not you. Who are you? You're a race car driver. What do you have to do with anything? Other than being the guy from town that moved away.
That no one likes.
Yeah. Dino sucked.
Oh, but the rest of them. The rest of them were okay.
Well, his character was really like... Why is... This guy just sucks. Like, oh...
He likes to shove things up his butt. That's what I thought about his character. Like, this guy secretly likes to shove Darth Vader's in his butt.
I think he's just the type of guy that if you ever deal with a person like that...
You're gonna get screwed.
You just push him down and say...
No.
Meh, I don't want to deal with you. Just go away.
You hit him in the face with a newspaper and go, no! Not Dino! I said no!
You're just connecting Dino to the dinosaur.
I wasn't thinking that, but it's true. I was just thinking that, like he was a stupid animal, so you would have to hit him in the snoot with a newspaper to make him listen.
Nice. Okay, so he's not supposed to be driving the car. Dino's like, meh. And so then they have a street race in Koenig 666.
So then they get into an argument
about who's
who
the
can
better
drive
driver.
the best.
That's it? That's
Yeah.
how that all started?
No, that was the beginning of Dino not wanting to pay him the money.
Oh, for the build?
Yeah.
Oh, so see, even building cars is...
Well, because Pete's all like, everybody knows that you don't go above 180, and that Toby is a better driver than you are, Dino Bino.
Fucking dead meat Pete with his big-ass mouth.
Yeah, so Pete gets him into the race.
And then gets himself into the race.
Yeah,
because
why?
Dino needs somebody to kill.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I was waiting for Dead Meat Pete.
Well, his name is Dead Meat Pete for a reason.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to die. At the first race, I thought, okay, this is going to be like...
I thought he was going to die during the first race.
Yeah, I thought, okay, they built him up as to be, the ex-girlfriend's brother, he's the sweet kid.
He's little buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's little buddy, and he's going to get the shit ran over him in this first race. Like, something's going to happen.
His head's coming off.
This kid's going to fucking die. Because, they showed, like, the cement bridge thing with all the arches, and I thought, he is going to get smacked right into the wall.
There's a setup right there. I did, too.
He's going to die.
I didn't, because I thought that he was, like, they had to bring him in as he is Dead Meat Pete, but he had promise. Before he died, he could have been something.
But he was a psychic.
Yeah. How we forgot about that.
That was butter shit.
What the shit?
Dead Meat Pete's visions, but he can't see himself getting chopped up by Koenig 66, by plastic cars.
He just doesn't talk about those visions.
He's like, I'm going to die in this race. So it wasn't a big surprise to me when Dead Meat Pete finally eats shit on this race and gets killed.
And they kill, like, half of America in the Koenig race. They, like, all of the freeway people die.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Head-ons with trucks and cars and side collisions
and helicopters and bazookas.
He's going the wrong way on the freeway and everybody's swerving out of the way and running into trees and rocks and shit.
Yeah, there's very little...
But he didn't stop for any of those assholes. Only for Dead Meat Pete.
Concern for life in this movie, but...
And, so he kills Pete. And there was, like, the race was to the other side of the bridge, I guess. Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, how you know a true professional race car driver. They'll win on a technicality. That's what Dino did. He got to the other side of the bridge before... Sure, he wasn't the best driver that day.
True.
But he won.
That's right.
And that's okay.
Right, because Toby had to turn around. I mean, at this point, you should just finish the race. Not to be a dick, but all those other people are dead already. It's like 6 feet away. And Dead Meat Pete is obviously not walking away from that crash. You just saw it in your rear view.
I thought Dead Meat Pete had a chance because the car explodes and then he goes over into the water. I thought, it'll cool him off real nice.
Oh my god.
If he would have been wearing a seatbelt or a helmet...
Yeah.
He could have been
a flame
retardant
suit.
Yeah. If he was wearing racing gear, he had a good chance at not living a productive life.
But living nonetheless.
So then we fast forward to 2 years later after this race. Or no, we get the graveyard scene where they do that nice shot where it's like the aerial view of the skyline and the trees, and then it comes down.
Which I
hate that shot.
It wasn't a lot of
there was so much slow motion tracking shit in this movie that I just got so sick of eventually.
That you see Anita with Dino and you're like, what the hell is wrong with her? Is she completely stupid? But then you find out that he's framed in the next scene.
At the same time, what the hell's wrong with him? Because he's like a professional race car driver and he's dating Horseface.
Yeah.
Like, now, I have seen the, what's that Ron Howard movie called?
Rush.
Rush, yeah. God damn it, the one, Chris Hemsworth. The fuck is that guy's name?
I know, I can't remember. He's banging everybody.
Yeah, they're all. And
he's married to a supermodel.
You just go race in Italy, and you can have any woman you want. Why you dating Mount Cisco Horseface, who eventually gets things shoved in her butt via the 50 Shades of Grey? That's it. We have 2 Darth Vaders. Where are they gonna go? Shoop.
She's like, I'm hoping back in the collectible Death Star. No, that's not where they're going.
Oh, they're going to a Death Star. A brown star.
We're going to put them back in their original packaging and try to sell them on eBay.
Oh, they're going to get packaged.
going to give them to a small child who's not my butt.
I'm going to give it... Wait.
We're going to give it to our unborn child. Get ready, womb.
Oh, boy.
You took us there. Don't even try to blame me.
So Aaron Paul goes to jail because he's the only one left in the race, or there to
Like we said,
clean up duty or whatever.
2 years, and then he's out.
Yeah, that was... How...
I like that there's no witnesses to the 3 cars.
Uh-huh.
Because everyone on the freeway
Everybody's
died.
dead, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, it was obvious that somebody was going to be like, yeah, there was a 3rd car.
Uh-huh.
There was... A whole town was going to be like, yep,
Yep.
there was a 3rd car.
You don't miss 3 Koenigsegg's doing 120 down the freeway and be like, oh, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 cars. Dumbasses. So he's out of jail instantly, again. He's out of jail as fast as he can build a Shelby Ford Mustang.
The shop has been foreclosed.
The shop has been foreclosed. He loses it. But he knows of a path to redemption. The De Leon race. Which, why is it De Leon?
Why is any, like...
Ponce de Leon was on the other fucking side of the country. I don't know. Anyways.
Thrown by an eccentric weirdo.
It's thrown by an eccentric weirdo who we don't realize is Michael Keaton until he says...
Doing his weird podcast thing.
Yeah, his weird podcast.
That happens early in the movie. I figured out that he was the
you know that, but it's not revealed.
You don't realize, like, when does his radio show go on? When does it stop? What is it? How do you get it? The whole thing was...
You have to register user, and then you have to prove that you have a sweet car.
Alerts for it or something.
Like, you can't be a cop and get this radio show.
No, you cannot be a cop and get the radio show. Also seems expensive because he's got some high-tech kit. He's got better kit than we do.
Well, he was supposedly had won whatever. Was it F1? Like he sponsored F1 teams.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So he was like a shadow man who has money, but he can't race anymore because he's got a bum ticker.
Yeah, because his heart stopped.
But he can commentate it.
Yeah.
He can do the exact same thing as he was doing before. It's just not...
Well, no, he was actually in the...
He was in racing.
I thought he was the sponsor.
Yeah, that was because he couldn't race anymore because he's got a bum ticker.
Oh, so he was racer, then he was a sponsor, then he was a...
Underground race...
podcast...
Benefactor guy.
Right. Illegal street racing guy.
Podcast. Videocast.
Webcast.
Navigation
Phone,
cast.
chat.
GPS cast.
I don't know, some sweet swag.
Yeah.
This guy for an underground street racing guy.
For his audience of 7 people.
And he knows, he seems to know as much as the lady that has the pirate radio show in the Warriors.
Yeah.
That, like, she knows exactly where they are and telling him hints and things like that. He's got the same, so he's the lady in the Warriors on the radio, basically.
Also, you know who he also is? Wolfman Jack from a movie that has now 2 references in this movie.
American Graffiti.
Graffiti. Wolfman Jack knows where all the things are going on, what's going down, baby.
Yeah.
Huh, I have not seen that.
Oh, God, you need to watch more movies. How can you have missed that one? That movie is for you. So that movie's for everybody.
Yeah, that movie is for everybody.
So... They now have a plan to get in the Ponce de Leon race, and that will do something. I don't know what.
Well, they know that Dean...
Other than win a lot of money, in theory.
Well, I think that he's going to just try to kill him.
He sets off...
To just kill Dean.
Vengeance.
I need your car to win this.
I'm going to taco this guy.
Well, no, you just do the same thing. You give him the pit maneuver... And then you go around. You give him some of his own medicine.
And hopefully he crashes into Pebble Beach at 190.
And you can miss it and win. That's the plan.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But, lucky for Toby, Aaron Paul, he knows the guy.
He knows the guy.
Who bought the Mustang for $3 million. It goes 234 miles an hour.
That's true.
Because he needs a car.
That's true.
He just got out of prison. He needs a car to do this
Beep,
race.
Boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop.
And the guy's like,
can I have your car? Yeah, that's cool.
Well, no, he's like, what do I get? And he's like, you can have half the cars.
So at that point, that's when I figure out that the winnings of this race are the other cars that are in this race.
It's a Pink's
Yeah, you're racing
Pink's
for
race.
Pinks. Which was
Pink stinks.
It's like,
So Michael Keaton really gets nothing out of this.
nothing. Well,
Other than the sheer joy of watching people
which
die.
makes his heart explode. Apparently.
Maybe it's good for his heart watching other people die.
Yeah.
He lives on the souls of others.
He's like, I'm gonna live another day.
So, rich guy sends the car, and guess who steps out? It's Imogen Poots.
What is her name in this?
I don't know.
English lady. I don't think they ever gave her a name. I don't know.
She has a name.
What was the name of our navigation, on the cell phone navigation? Edith, yes. While we were in England, we name all of our phones that talk to us. They always have to have a voice so we can humanize them. Of course, that's what you do with modern technology, is you try to make it human so you don't feel so alone at night when you're talking to your cell phone by yourself. And making love to it. So we called her Edith. I think she should be called Edith for the sake of this podcast, because I don't know her fucking name.
I don't know. They didn't do a very good job,
naming anybody other than the one guy that Benny, who I only remember as Benny because of how many times I said Benny to him when he wanted to be called Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Liar one.
Well, she shows up in the Mustang. She's got some clothes in the trunk. It's obviously that she's going someplace. She takes clothes out of the trunk, puts them in the front seat where there's another trunk, and then puts them in the trunk, and then puts the trunk back in the back seat.
Gets out of the car, grabs loose clothing from the trunk, and places it into an open and waiting suitcase in the passenger seat while talking to him.
That's exactly what I just said.
No, it didn't work out.
You were talking all kinds of weirdness.
She took clothes out of the trunk, puts them in a trunk that's in the in the passenger seat.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, dude.
A trunk is another name for luggage.
Yeah, I was clarifying it for people
takes
who
them out of the trunk, puts them in a trunk, puts the trunk in the back seat.
Why does she have loose
clothes in the trunk when she's got a perfectly good suitcase in the passenger seat?
And it's a shit suitcase for a woman who manages a millionaire's money. Because it was
crappy.
like a 70s pink Samsonite bag.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with Samsonite, but that thing was worn out and it was one of those lower-end canvas jobs.
Except for there's none of them that exist anywhere in the world anymore, because they're all gone. It's fucking 40 years old luggage.
I still have a Samsonite bag.
How could you travel?
The handle.
You don't work for a millionaire.
I
You
don't.
gotta travel around
And
a
it's
lot.
one of those shitty canvas bags, and you can't put anything in it because the airline will smash the shit out of it.
All right, well, so now they've got to get from New York, upstate New York to California, because they have an inkling that the race is in California, and they got to do it in 44 hours, right?
Yep.
Right.
So
45.
Yeah, because he's like, you're not going, and she's like 44 hours and 59
minutes.
All right, well, so then it's time to, after like 10 minutes of them driving down the freeway, it's time for him to show her the ropes, or...
He said to Benny directly that he was going to try to scare her out of the car.
What? Oh, to get rid of her, because he doesn't like company.
Well, she's just going to be
because he's like Frankenstein from Death Race 2000. Just run her over. Anyways, so he does $1, and basically it just skids around town.
Well, he said do $1 up the exit ramp.
Yeah.
Which means go 100.
Go 100. And then he skids around, almost, again, goes through a town, killing people who are slamming into gas stations. The gas stations explode, and there's a guy on a bike, and he gets ran over by a semi. Oh, there's the bus full of nuns that are on their way to give care for the cancer patients at the hospital.
Well,
that fucking thing explodes when it hits when it runs into the newlyweds who are on their way. Everybody's dying in this town, basically, because nobody cares about anybody's safety except for how sweet you can drive in this movie. So he teaches her a hard lesson. They get back on the freeway, and she's like, "Meh."
When he jumps the Mustang across 2 lanes.
No, that was when that's when they're in Detroit. That's
that was one of the first attempts at heartwarming too, because she was like, she got like the genuinely hurt, like, "Oh, I can't believe you hate me this much," and then he's like, "I feel so bad for doing that," and that's about how it was acted out too. It was like, "Oh, I'm sad," and he's like, "I'm sorry, but I'll stew in my own emotion."
And then he gives her the open mouth, one eyebrow up look that Aaron Paul gives in that's his only thing. I was like, he's gonna say bitch. He's gonna say bitch. He's gonna say bitch. He didn't say bitch.
He's a respectable young man towards her.
I understand that, but it was just that Breaking Bad, like, what the hell's going on here, bitch, thing that he does. That's just his shtick. So.
And I just want to interject here. My grandma had a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Looked pretty similar to the one in here, except it was maroon. Maybe it wasn't as nice.
Right.
But.
Mom had a Mustang GT.
No, my grandma.
Grandma, right.
She cracked the window exactly a half an inch and chain smoked in this car.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's why I didn't go fast anymore. The air filter is plugged up with
I
cigarettes.
don't know where this is going.
But I'm just saying, my grandma's Mustang did not do the shit that Mustang could do.
Because it had 145 horsepower in it, because it was a V6 3-liter.
I'm wondering if she ever got dirtied down with it, like...
No. Your grandma bought an old lady Mustang. That's what 90% of people, the Mustang's the greatest car of all time. Everybody owns it is an old lady that drives them because I remember them from the 60s and I think that they're special, but she doesn't actually give a fuck about cars. Mustangs suck. But that one does actually have 650 horsepower. I looked it up online. That particular car had 650 horsepower, which will do 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds.
All I'm saying is that my grandma's car wasn't that sweet.
No, because it was a shitty Mustang. Anyways, they do make other models of cars. You know, like there's multiple models.
But she did like to listen to the Mustang Sally song when she drove around.
Well, that's so
Mustang Sally!
Yeah, that's so butt. That's so
Chain
butt.
smoking in my Mustang. Can't see out the windshield. Cause it's got less of smoke.
Tick, 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 tick.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even.
We're not even to Detroit yet.
Yeah, so they get to Detroit. We gotta speed this along here, Mustang jackass. So they gotta pick up another guy whose name we never catch. I'm just gonna call him,
Bug-eyed Mexican guy.
I kind of thought he was more like Kumar. Naked Kumar. That's who I thought he was.
Oh, I don't know. He kind of reminded me of the Taco Bell dog.
Okay. Well, he
had dark hair.
He's got to do some Brodies out because the car's off kilter.
Yeah, he was leaning to the left.
Which, Okay, so naked guy quits. Now he's on board. So another guy loses his job.
And then they got to escape.
He
out money.
And takes off all of his clothes as he's walking out the door.
Either way, he no longer has a job. He has lost it.
And he no longer has any underoos.
And in order to escape town, you get, hello, what? Now Benny's in a helicopter.
And Benny's in a helicopter.
It's the newscopter. And when he's not helping people escape, he's looking at butts. Which is not, that's what happens. Once they escape, he uses the zoom to look at joggers' butts.
But he does take a sweet video of them, now I can say, jumping over 2 lanes of freeway traffic.
That was sweet shit. That chase scene was sweet shit.
And he sends it to Michael
That was the
Keaton.
first time I realized I was on board with this movie. I was like, God damn it, it took you 1 hour and 10 minutes to jump a car? Fucking, that's what you do in 5 minutes. So I'm on board.
To be honest, the very first driving sequence, I was like, I bet it's going to be a lot of driving like this, and I was already on board in the first, because I knew that they weren't going to waste time with things that weren't driving because of how economical that driving sequence was. It wasn't that expensive to shoot, but it was a good driving sequence.
There you go. All right. That's Sam's info.
I'm with Sam. I was on board from the first scene.
Okay. Well,
And Dukes of Hazzard slept driving.
They're on camera for CCTV. I don't know how, but he's got also in-car camera, uploads it to his Twitch account, which, if you're not a dork, that's a live streaming video game YouTube thing. He's got that. Now he's famous. He's on the Michael Keaton show, and Michael Keaton now knows, oh, you're racing across America for the sake of your dead brother and blah 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 blah.
Your ex-girlfriend's dead brother, who you liked a lot.
Dead me Pete, he could have been somebody.
Yeah, but he's, everybody's running him down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the English lady's like, why don't you stand up for yourself? He's like, no, they're just going to say what they're going to say. And so she dials in and she sticks up for his ass and says, there were 3 cars on the road that day. And Dino Bino was in the 3rd car and he actually killed Dead Meat Pete.
Just ask anybody who's not Dead Meat Pete. But now, yeah, she's got the super hots for him because he jumped a fucking car. I'm telling you, you want to get babes, jump a car.
Yeah, panty dropper.
Don't even give lines. Don't be like, it's dropped from heaven because you're like an angel or whatever those stupid things that guys say.
Because you make my balls look white.
Just get a fucking Camaro and jump it.
Okay, wait, no. We gotta go.
Yeah, what?
So did you drop from heaven because you make my balls look white? I am going to use that. The next woman I see will
I think you should get a Camaro and jump it.
My God.
That works every time. So then there's some cold talk bullshit. Then you get some more of the guys talking bullshit nonsense to each other.
Hot fuel.
Yeah, hot fuel is on the way to the south, which I don't know why they go from Detroit to the south.
That's prior to the truck stop.
Yep.
The truck stop.
That's directly outside of Detroit. Is they have to fuel the car while in motion on the freeway.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but they're headed south. That's the key words, is that it's time to go south. Why are you going south? You go, sort of distance between 2 points is a straight line. California is very much more west than it is south. They should be heading southwest.
Because Pepito has to get on top of the car and try to stick the nozzle into the hole. Well, obviously this guy's bad at the sex, because he cannot get the nozzle in the hole. She has to get out of the car, English lady, Edith, has to get out of the car and help him put the nozzle into the hole, because he is not good at the sex.
He seems to take it out
I
just fine.
accidentally got it in your butt.
He seems to take it out of the car just fine. I don't know why he had such a problem getting it in, but he does have problems getting it in.
Yank on it and it'll come out.
Yeah, but then it's going to spray gas all over the place. He had to reach in and click off the little filler-upper thing and then pull it out.
Well, usually when it's full, it just clicks itself off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
true.
you just yank on it.
Why didn't they have like some sweet kit where you just got like a pole that you just...
Because this is not the Air Force.
Well, it's a truck that can fill up car mid-freeway. You think that they would have thought that out.
If they have a code name for fueling while in motion called hot fuel, they should have better equipment for it.
Yes, indeed.
Either way, you know it's love after hot fuel. She gets back into the car and you're like, they're in love now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know that because Aaron Paul looks at her and goes,
Bitch.
Never calls her a bitch.
No, but that's what Aaron Paul does.
He does a really good job making
Bitch
fuck
so
you
many
faces.
times, yeah.
There was a lot of times in the movies that he was just making fuck you faces.
Why he's a big deal. It's because of fuck you faces.
When to the cop in Detroit, the fuck you faces were great.
Yeah. So Dino now knows what's going on because Michael Keaton's all a Twitter, literally. And so Dino puts a bounty out, which we don't get a payoff on for a while, but just so you know, there's a bounty out now. And
a $2 million Ferrari.
Yeah, you get a $2 million Ferrari, which...
But there's only 3 of them in the world.
It was a Lamborghini.
Oh, it was the Lamborghini. It was the Elemental that we find out later. So they have to take another pit stop down the road after some romancing each other, googly eyes on the road, and switching seats.
No,
and
that's
she's
after.
driving.
No, that's after.
And they're back. I don't know. Okay. So then they end up in Nebraska.
They go to the gas station.
They go to Nebraska gas station.
Has to, get some perfume on.
Mm-hmm.
They stop so she can get some perfume on. I actually realized what's happening in that scene. She just released a brisket snake that smelled up the bathroom so bad that she had to put on perfume so she didn't smell like shit when she came out of there.
A brisket snake?
She's English. That's what they eat.
She just made black pudding in the toilet.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, she now smells good, but now that she gets cornered by a cop who doesn't seem like he should have any idea who the hell she is. It just seemed like he wanted to stick her in the car and have his way with her.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was implied, but that's how it came across to me, because there's no way that cop would have made, oh, hey, there's a silver Mustang and a blonde walking out of a bathroom that is not near the silver Mustang. There's lots of fucking silver Mustangs and lots of blondes, but anyways. So, long story short, are they going to get away? Well, American Graffiti, the cop car. They put the chain onto the back axle, and the cop car pulls away to chase after him. Oh, you don't have any back tires. So I
Hey,
was
but
like,
before
like
that,
we
though,
weren't
she
gonna
runs
notice.
upstairs into
Yeah,
a room,
run
jumps
away.
out a second-story window, and Aaron Paul catches her.
Yeah.
She just falls off the roof.
Okay, we honestly don't have time for these finer points of this movie. We got to get to the big stuff. So now they're now in Colorado, I think.
They're in Moab, Utah.
Okay.
Because they had to go
Whatever.
back to
They're in a
the end of the
desert
movie.
location.
They say we had to go to Utah to pick up Benny.
So they're in a desert location with rocky areas, and now the bounty gets to happen. There's some guys. There's some Chevy 4x4 and good old boys chasing
One of
after
them was a
with
Baja truck.
like a headpiece navigator machine thing. I don't know. And then another, like, was the other one a Bronco? Like
Yep,
an
that
old
was
Ford
a
Bronco.
63 Bronco.
And then the other one's a Hummer. The Hummer and the Bronco decide to play a game of chicken with them. The Hummer chooses poorly. Because if the Hummer had just driven directly into them, it would have been in much better condition.
Everybody was going to die, so they chose to sacrifice themselves for the plot of the movie.
They died. The Hummer people died more than anybody else in this movie. Those guys were dead as shit. They did 100 into a fucking rock wall. So now they're getting chased by another car comes out of nowhere. I can't remember what car it was.
No, the two cement trucks.
Oh, the two cement trucks
with
come out of
American
nowhere.
flags.
Yeah. So they got to get off the road now. And they're going, getting chased. And how are we going to get out of here? Well, Benny shows up in a fucking...
Hello what? Times two.
Hello what? Chopper. Picks them up by the Mustang helicopter chain connection. And they fly off the gorge to safety.
But before he saves them, he's like, you say that I can fly a helicopter, that I'm not a liar.
The Apache
Yeah,
helicopter.
Apache, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to call him
say
Maverick now.
that I'm Maverick.
Yay for him. Well, they make it to California.
Without ripping the car off, the roof off the car.
Yeah, the roof doesn't come off. I think those actually might have roll bars.
Those have got
okay.
uniframes,
Yeah.
so there's a good chance that could happen.
Yeah. So they make it to California, which I was like, well, why doesn't Benny just fly him straight to California? You're almost there. You've already broken the rules. Whatever.
They made
The
Utah
jets came
flags.
and almost shot him down.
Yeah, you can't do that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so they make it to California without any night driving at all. The only scene that takes place during the night, they make it in
Is
45 hours
get
when
there.
they get arrested, or not arrested, but in Nebraska, that was night.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, it's all during the day. I don't know how they did that. Fast drivers. So there's a Toby Dino face-off at the San Francisco Lux Hotel, whatever that is. And
where they're getting the information for their secret race data.
yeah, it starts the next day at 9 a.m. Pull out of the driveway.
8.
That's when he gives her the
Details.
crazy boner.
Crazy boner.
So you need to stay with me tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then right after that, they get fucking smacked by a...
Sexy time
tow
lunatic
truck.
look, yeah.
By a semi-truck.
She's like, I will stay with you. Nope.
No, you can't walk
Trucked.
so then Anita is there now.
Well, he calls Anita because he needs a car because his last car just got fucked up.
Yeah, but she makes it to San Francisco in like no time at all.
She was there already.
Why was she there?
To be unsuspicious of her husband and then to backstab him when the time was right.
So my problem with that though is that she finds out about the Koenig Sigs
Yeah.
back at the shop that's in New York.
So she was going with him to make sure if there's anything she can do to fuck up that guy's life, that's all you... Okay,
She
but-
had to be there to do it.
not really anything in this movie makes sense.
No, okay. fair
well,
enough.
no, because the car, he had stored the car in a...
San Francisco.
Yeah, in
right.
San Francisco. Which just happened to be where they were at for the
He
race.
stole his heart in San Francisco. How's that song go? I left my heart in San Francisco.
She stole his heart.
Or, no, he stored his car in
Ah.
San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
So, anyways, now Anita's like, fuck that guy. Here's the Koenig Sig. And so they go to pick it up. He's got a car now.
Yeah, plus you find out that she didn't leave him until that night, so she had to already be there to leave him.
Just don't show up. Just be like, hey, here's the code to get into the storage unit. It's at this address. There's your car. I'm going to stay here in New York and eat ice cream and watch sad movies because I just broke up with my boyfriend,
Well,
my
he punched her
fiance.
in the face. She had a big black
did.
eye.
Because she
married.
flew to San Francisco and wasted money. That's just what you do. You don't do that. Stay in New York.
She didn't have a black eye. I looked at it twice.
Yeah,
the
she didn't
lighting
have a
was
black
just
eye.
funny on
It
her
was
face.
funny.
See, horse face. Should have never gotten her into the movies.
So now there's the next day. He's got
The
the car.
race.
The race. The whole plot of the movie is now at an hour and 30 minutes. And he shows up in the Koenigsegg. And there's 5 other stupid cars.
There was a Saline and a
Saline,
Bugatti.
Bugatti Super Sport, the Lamborghini Elemental, the one that I didn't recognize at all, and then one that I just can't remember.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, that's good information.
Was the yellow one a McLaren?
Oh, the McLaren was the orange one, the
Okay.
McLaren P1.
Yeah.
I don't know what the yellow one was. So they have the race, and there's driving, lots and lots of driving. I really don't know how to sum up the race.
The race is they're racing pretty well, but the police will stop at nothing to kill themselves and the people involved in the race.
Right? Yeah.
Except for the one smart cop
Because this wouldn't
who
be
uses
a
his
dangerous...
baton to really stick the gas pedal down and then puts it in gear and runs away.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
launches a car at them because the only way that this race could be dangerous is if the police get involved and try to kill everybody.
It's called a GTA Spano, is the yellow one. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, the cops are dickheads in this movie. He takes out the Super Sport in this. Which, do you think all those cars were digital the whole time, or do you think they actually had cars?
No, those were all shells.
Oh, okay.
Those were shells on 4 cylinders. Sped
Gotcha.
up the footage.
Yeah.
Look, did a nice job.
Did a real nice job.
I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah. So they all wreck. Everybody wrecks except for Toby and Dino, of course. Until Dino tries to do his... Well, actually, Dino does his pit maneuver earlier on the P1, and it works real nice.
Yeah, the third place guy.
Yeah, third place guy. But then he tries it again on Toby.
Toby just lets him by so he can't do it.
Yeah, but he tries it again.
So he tried to just run him off the road.
Oh,
Right.
I thought he was
Because they
going
got
for the
next
pit
to
again.
each other, and then they hit, and Toby hits the brakes, and then he just swerves into the berm.
Right,
Eats
but
some major shit.
before all that happens, though, Toby is going to give him his medicine, right? He's going to nip him on the side and
Right.
make him roll and kill him.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Help me, Petey!" And then Dead Meat Pete gives him the courage to just speed the fuck up and win.
or some, but no, he doesn't, because he comes
He's
back.
got to go back for Dino.
And he saves Dino's
To
life
save
so that he
Dino's
can
life.
punch him in the face,
yeah.
Right.
which is not proper revenge for killing your little buddy.
Well, then he gets back in the car in the Koenigsegg and
Wins the
goes to the
race.
finish line, which is the lighthouse, and wins the race, and then he gets to go to jail.
For 178 days, exactly.
Yeah, 178 days.
And owes a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Because the $3 million car that he built, totaled,
Yep, gone.
didn't get, that one's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The car that he raced in wasn't even his and is now state's evidence.
Right.
And the cars that he won, all blown up.
All blown up, and best case scenario, even if one was like repairable, it's also state's evidence.
Yeah, so he just, at a bare minimum, owes the guy $2.7 million
Plus, probably
for the car that he built.
Well, not to mention all the fines for all the damage and shit. You know, I mean, there's got to be a lot of money that he owes.
They probably split that 6 ways between everybody.
I mean,
So
sure, fine,
but
whatever.
still, he's $5 million.
Yeah,
He's in the whole $5 million.
He's done for.
And his girlfriend shows up, and she's just in a red 5.0 Mustang, which means that she's been fired.
But it was the 2015
and
Mustang.
Her only her severance was enough to buy a normal Mustang, but they're
$30,000 Mustang.
They're broke,
Mm-hmm.
and they're on the run. They're on the lam.
And but they got to go see Benny, who's getting out of jail because he's earned his way out by his twerking exercise.
Yes, by
Work?
twerker size.
Twerking is stupid.
I don't even think they were twerking. I don't even know what they were doing.
I thought shaking.
They were just dancing.
butt was.
He wasn't even. Calling that dancing would be generous at best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Need for Speed 2 will be Need for Speed, the search for more money. Because we're all, Need for Speed 2, we're broke, so we have to race. So the demand, it provides that the racing will be better because they're doing it to live.
They should get their money from the same way that the fast people get their money. I don't know how the fast people get their money, but they always have money. Always have money.
From heists.
Yeah, I guess. But they're good guys now. I don't know. What, let's go, let's bring back the, favorite things about this movie. What was your guys' favorite moments, per se?
Oh, before we go to that, the song at the very end was totally about being best friends, and
All the music was
you
butt.
can sit by me, it's okay, 'cause we're friends.
Yeah, all the music was pretty butt. Favorite moments. Come on.
I think when she jumps off the roof, because she doesn't jump off the roof, he's like, count to 3, and she just goes limp.
Yeah.
She just falls off, and he doesn't, like, get ready for it, because normally you just get ready for it and be like, 1, 2, and then she hits the ground, you're like, I was counting to 3!
Massive head wounds. That's what she had right there. Jackie?
I liked when he went back and pulled him out of the car and then popped him in the head.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. I did. I thought it was cool.
Nice. Well, I liked jumping the Mustang. I thought it looked good. Thought it was an achievement in car CGI work.
It was the sort of coup de grace for the film.
Yeah. No, it looked real good. The car really went far. I had no problem with it being CGI because everybody would have died. So that's your film. Guys, recommends?
Yeah, I would tell people about this. I also am upset that we didn't go to the Dollar Theater to see this. I would have enjoyed seeing this at the Dollar Theater.
Seeing it at the Dollar Theater.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen this at the big theater as well. I would recommend it. I really liked it. I thought Aaron Paul did a good job, and Michael Keaton was an awesome, crazy guy.
And on that bombshell, take your Mustang directly to the chopper, get on it, and tell Benny what's up.